The feds are giving almost $50 million to begin planning for the proposed Cascadia high-speed rail project. The dream is to connect Portland, Seattle, and Vancouver, BC, with trains that going 250 miles per hour. Wow. Wouldn't that be amazing? The new money will be used for route planning, identifying capital project, community outreach. Another $5.6 million is going to come from Washington State Department of Transportation. So a bunch of federal money coming into the state. That's exciting. People think this is going to be great. This was my reaction when I saw this. Oh, I don't have my computer on. There you go. Here's my reaction when I saw this.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
So dumb. I couldn't believe what a dumb idea this is.
Let me
Dumb,
ask
Spike.
why. Why do you think this is a dumb idea?
Let me tell you why this is a dumb idea.
Okay.
Actually, no. First, I want you to tell me why this is a great idea, and then I'll tell you why I think it's a dumb idea.
Well,
And you know what I love about the show? You and I can disagree on a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
We still like each other.
Sure.
Like, we're both entitled
you're
to.
a solid citizen,
We're
man.
both entitled to bad ideas.
Yep.
So let's hear about your.
I bring my share to the table.
Let's hear your bad ideas, Spike, and I'll tell you why I
Because
think
this
is
is one of the most sought after and desirable regions in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Not just America.
Can't get enough
You know,
of it.
I'm telling you, we have beautiful we have natural resources here. We have beautiful amenities here, and it's wonderful.
No poisonous snakes.
No poisonous snakes
on this
here.
side of the mountains.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're growing. We've got big tech. We've got medical research. Portland is just Seattle in miniature, right? Vancouver is
There's 11 burgeoning what do they call these? Mega regions?
Mega regions.
Mega regions.
Yeah.
There's 11 mega regions they've identified that are growing. And
Yes.
so they think a high-speed rail would serve this area very well.
So we already know that SeaTac Airport is too small. They've got a northern satellite. They're trying to find a place for a southern satellite.
Beautiful
Right.
airport, by the way, up in Everett.
Everywhere you look nowadays, there's more houses going in, more light rail going in, all these different things. People are going to keep coming to this region. There's not going to be less people on the freeways. There's not going to be less people at the airports, but more people are coming. And if we can get light rail to go from Vancouver to Seattle.
Not light rail, high-speed rail.
High-speed rail. The 250-mile-an-hour rail.
250. Can you imagine how fast that would be?
You could take
250 miles an hour.
It's being safely done all over the world except here in America.
It's amazing.
We're so far behind the curve in mass transportation.
Yeah.
We are so far. Now we've got the federal government going to step in and give us $50 million to do the research with regard to rider usage, with regard to environmental impact on these things, because you got to take these things into account.
Yeah,
to do it right.
Everybody loves the environment.
Right. So I think we're finally putting our stake in the ground, if you will allow the rail analogy, right?
We're going to be busting it. This region's going to be busting at the seams in the next 10 years.
Why I tell you?
Why I tell you?
You be coming from all parts.
You should see some of the styles up there. Pretty Tony up in Capitol Hill.
From
Just amazing. We're going to be the Paris of the East before long, or the West, or wherever the heck we are.
So why don't you like this idea?
Why don't I like it? Because we can't afford it. It's just not going to happen. We cannot possibly afford this.
Why, we can't afford not to, I say.
How much did the light rail cost just to get to West Seattle?
A mere $4 billion.
A mere $4 billion.
Yeah, okay, quit bringing reality back to
You're talking about, how long is that line going to be? 2 miles? Mile and a half? What is that? I don't even know.
It's $1 billion per mile. I think it's a 4-mile stretch from the main corridor runs along I-5.
Per mile.
Right.
$1 billion per mile for the light rail.
A lot more expensive than
I
light rail.
want to read you some of the names of these rocket scientists, these geniuses that think this is a good idea. Senator Maria Cantwell, Democrat, Washington, has led the effort to secure this funding, $50 million. I'm going to tell you what that $50 million is going to get you, too, by the way. If you think the train's going to be expensive, I want to tell you what this $50 million is going to get you. She was also joined by Senator Patty Murray. She's a genius. Everyone knows that. Representatives Rick Larson, Democrat, Washington. Derek Wilmer, Democrat, Washington. Marilyn Strickland, Democrat, Washington. Adam Smith, Democrat, Washington. Susan Del Bene, Democrat, Washington. Pramila Jayapal, Democrat, Washington. Everybody's so excited for this project. This is Senator Maria Cantwell speaking about it. The I-5 corridor is the backbone of Western Washington, by golly. I threw in the by golly. Yet a recent study found that Seattle is the second most congested city in the nation. This funding will enable the state, that's all facts, you're not wrong about that. The funding will enable the state to work with locals to develop the best possible high-speed passenger rail route and someday give Washingtonians the option to skip the highway and reach their destination faster.
Idiot. No, why? What's wrong with that?
You can't afford it. You can't afford it. Here's what $50 million plus $5 from local WashDOT's going to get you. $55 million.
Right.
That's not even to build the train,
No,
Spike.
that's to look in. That's
The
to take a
project
look
was
at it.
awarded $49.7 million federal grant December of 2024. That's this month. The project will also receive another $5.5 million state matching funds from the Washington State Legislature. These funds will support the next phase of the work. Oh, I'm excited. What's that next phase going to be? The Pacific Northwest Rail Corridor is one of 11 federally designated high-speed rail corridors. It's a 462-mile stretch. The high speed that will be okay. So this will just be the $50 million to look into what it's going to cost to build a train. They're going to spend $50 million to investigate how much it's going to cost to build a train.
Well, what that isn't just should we do it? It's not $50 million to ask the
Technical
question,
work,
should we
community
do it?
partner engagement to look at the
Right.
market and potential ridership, route options, and environmental considerations.
Yeah, these are all things that have to be considered if you're going to consider this type of technological and transportational advancements.
Here's the only consideration you need. Why don't we listen, when you want to do things in life, do you just like set out on a blind path and do them stupidly? Or do you look to other people who've gone before you and been like, hey, you know what? You figured out how to do it. I'm going to figure out what you did so that I don't make the same mistakes that you did.
You look at what past experience, and yeah, absolutely. Success stories, learn from the mistakes of others, sure.
All right. Show me one place in the United States where they have successfully done this. And I've ridden on high-speed rail trains over in Europe. I get it. They're fun. They're fast. I think China.
That's where you look, bud.
China has one. They have a maglev train. That's literally floating on air. That's an amazing
they've got
thing.
them everywhere, but here.
Listen
There's
to
about
this,
11 of these proposed for America, right?
Let's find out what they've been doing in California. Washington always seems to follow what California does. So let's find out how it's going in California. And just imagine all this great success bleeding its way up here into Washington State. In 2008, California voters voted to give $9.95 billion in taxpayer funds to construct a high-speed rail. Everybody in California, it's a very progressive state, just like Washington. They said, wouldn't it be great? We can get to Bakersfield to San Francisco. It's 175 miles, 171 miles, and we can get there in no time flat with this high-speed rail. So they said, and all over the area, they had 800-mile of system. They said they were going to be able to do for $33 billion. Okay. There's going to be $10 billion from the state, and a bunch of federal money was going to come into. How much rail do you think that they have successfully put down since 2008? Take a guess.
They were proposing
how many miles?
proposing
800 miles they're proposing.
Since 2008? Mm-hmm. Probably half that.
How about none?
None?
How about none?
Oh, wow. That's not good.
Here's what they've done. 3 years after the original projected completion date, which was 2020. This is from late 2023, this article. I don't imagine they've made much more success. There have been no routes that have been finished. The latest cost estimate to complete just one section of the rail project, a 171-mile stretch between Bakersfield and San Francisco, is going to be more than the original cost of the entire system.
Sure. That makes sense. That happens. Things get more expensive.
No, I know, but it's impossible to afford. If you're going to the taxpayers and you say to the taxpayers, hey, listen, we want $10 billion from you guys to build 800 miles of track. Mm-hmm. It's going to be $33 billion total, but we're going to give you a high-speed rail for 800 miles of track. And then you go to them a couple years later, after the completion date has come and gone, and you've given them nothing, and you say to them, like, there's not one working system so far in their
California's
grand plan.
mismanagement of this plan.
Yes,
okay. I'll give you that.
They haven't even finished the initial 171-mile stretch. So I was wrong there. They have put track down. They haven't finished it though.
You asked how much was completed.
Yep.
That's a fair question.
So they haven't finished yet.
None.
So the original $10 billion, now it's going to be, for 800-mile system, was going to be $33 billion for the entire thing. Now it's going to be more than $33 billion just for that initial first 171-mile stretch. Wow. You still have 600 miles left to go.
I hear you.
Now they say the estimate to finish the rest of it is going to be north of $100 billion.
Wow. It's a lot of money, man.
It's a lot of money.
It is.
They're not going to finish it anytime soon, and if they do, that cost is just getting higher and higher and higher and higher.
Well, once Nancy Pelosi and her husband retire and they stop making all the money on this, that was a lot of that. I'm familiar with this project you're talking about.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi's husband invested in the land where this thing was supposed to run and made
that's a fortunate coincidence,
right?
That's lucky.
But don't point to the mismanagement or the bad example of this failed attempt in California.
I would love to point to a good example, but one doesn't exist.
All across Europe, they exist. all across Europe, all
We're
across
not
Asia.
Europe, though. We're not Europe.
Okay, but you know what? Okay, but they invented things in Europe and Asia that we use here in America, right? You go to places where it has
Like
worked.
the toilet? Like that's
Like
I can get behind,
a
I
light
can get
bulb
behind the
hot air balloon,
toilet.
sure.
I'm happy for that.
That's American, by the way. But how
Is it
many,
really?
How many? Yeah, John Crapper. You didn't know about the toilet? Come on.
bless it. God
You didn't.
bless
How many
America.
light bulb attempts failed before the one that worked? Just because failed attempts don't get you there doesn't mean you stop trying to get there.
Can we tell you why that analogy makes no sense to me?
Sure.
I love it. There's like 2,000 attempts before he figured it out, and he goes,
Yeah.
"I didn't fail 2,000 times. I succeeded. I figured out 2,000 ways not to make the light bulb."
There you go.
And he succeeded finally, and it was great. Tungsten actually is what he ended up using, right? Isn't that what
Yeah,
light
the
bulb?
filament, yeah.
Filament, yeah. So here's the thing. Your analogy was, what was your analogy again? It was the
100 light bulbs didn't work until you don't stop trying because you fail on the attempts.
okay, and that was who made the light bulb? Edison. All right, that is only costing Edison his time and his money.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
We're talking about a rail system that's going to cost all of us our money and our time
Right.
as we sit in traffic because they want to build new rails. This is not going to be on existing rails.
No, of course not. Yeah.
They're going to put in new rails. They say,
Sure.
listen, Amtrak already shares with heavy freight trains.
That's why it takes 18 hours to get from here to California by train.
Or take a jet if you want to get there faster.
Well, here's the
or take
problem.
a car if you want to get there faster.
But our roads are clogged. As I started, our roads are already clogged. Our airports are already clogged.
I can make it
This
to
is a-
California in less than 18 hours in my car. No
But
problem. All
more-
day, every day.
If we close the borders now and stop letting people move here, we'll be fine. We're not going to do that. The region needs growth.
Stop letting people move here. What are you talking about?
But
Letting
this is
people
the
move here?
fastest growing region in America. Our airports are already overtaxed. Our freeways are already overtaxed. We need other elements to help with transportation growth, with population growth.
So you think-
you're looking at light rail or high-speed rail?
So they have no idea what this is doing. Is there any number to you that would discourage you from wanting to support this train? Is there any number? It's north of 100 billion in California. It was originally going to be 30. Now it's more than 3 times that. It's going to be far, far, far more than that when they eventually finish. Is there some number in Spike O'Neill's head that Maria Cantwell comes back to you and she says, listen, we'd like to build a fast train
Right.
that goes from Portland to Vancouver. People can go on and off in Seattle. It'd be great.
Well, they slow down. You have to jump. It's really risky.
Well, that would be actually kind of fun to see.
A station
At
is
least the
more.
entertainment value.
It's
of
like the
people
fries at the ballpark. A
That would be
station to
great.
stop at's going to raise the price.
What's the number for you that you would start to go, hey guys, maybe this isn't it?
I have no fathom of how to calculate those such grand
Okay,
numbers.
800.
You're right.
Okay, 800 miles in California.
Right.
800 miles is going to be $100+ billion.
Right.
So what's the number for you?
Oh, 100 billion.
But for $100 billion for a third of the track?
We're going from.
Is it 462? Is that how long
yeah,
the line
it's
is?
like it's half that distance.
All right,
right?
so half that distance. So you would say you would spend $100 billion on half the distance?
Probably, sure. Because what else do we spend $100 billion on that we don't need? We got fields full of tanks and airplanes rotting away because we don't want to cut off defense contractor jobs here in America. You know, you talk about DOGE and how they're going to cut a third of the budget. Good luck putting all those people out of work. Good luck. You know, that's a whole different conversation about.
Yeah, it's a very different conversation.
I'm with you.
Those people have talent. They'll find other jobs. I believe in those people.
I hope so. But I'm with you. But we should eliminate waste. We can eliminate waste in California. That project is wasteful and misguided.
Here's
the whole
billion.
line.
Here's $100 billion in waste I can eliminate right now. Don't build the dumb train. It's a dumb move.
I get you. I have faith
If
that
somebody
we
had
can
come
do
up
it
to-
better and do it right.
Why do you have faith in them, though? Why do you have faith in them?
How can you not have faith in people? How can you not? In
When
the
they
American,
constantly
in
let
the
you
American
down, time
spirit,
and time
the
again.
American ingenuity.
Not the American spirit. I'm
It
talking
is.
about local bureaucrats who are
get
telling
them out
you
of Dodge. They suck.
who are telling you that we're going to build a light rail and it's only going to cost this amount of money, and then it ends up costing 5 times that amount.
Well, you know why?
Why do you
Because there's
why do
no
you trust this-
Republicans involved. Get some Republicans on board with this. Cut the wasteful spending.
There can't be
Get
any
it done
involved.
right.
We're
Why?
a blue state. People in Washington vote blue. It's all blue. And you brought that up. I'm not even saying that politicians.
Well, you mentioned like Democrat, like this was all a bad idea.
Well, there are
Right.
no Republicans
Right.
supporting this
So-
train.
well,
because they obviously understand that it's a bad investment.
Well, see, I prioritize growth and support for the region's commuters. That's what this is. It's an investment in the growth and the ability to get to work.
But does that
to
no?
travel.
But does that does that number for that support? Does that no end for you? Is there no cap on that? Is 100 billion? Is that your cap? Or
no, I'm sure there's a number that would be ridiculously not giving the value of return of investment. I'm hoping though that they can learn from mistakes, can learn from California's mistakes.
They won't.
You're a pessimist. I'm an optimist.
But I'm a pessimist because every time that they try this, they fail at it. Every time they try it, they fail at it. Like we have a light rail.
Back to the light bulb.
We have a
I know we have a rail system, right? And we have a rail that shares with freight. And nobody does rail commute because it takes far too much time.
I've actually taken the Amtrak down to San Francisco a number of times. It's a delightful trip, and I take it because it forces you to slow down.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have the luxury of time to slow down. They need to get from A to B to C.
They could slow down if they wanted to, and if they don't want to, they can take a plane. And if they don't want to pay the prices for a plane, they could take a car. Here's the thing: if I booked a ticket today on a high-speed rail to get from Portland to Vancouver, I would be dead of old age before that train actually ends up getting built. That's a guarantee.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
It's just not going to happen.
You talked about I do this for my grandkids.
Listen, I know that they're happy to spend $50 million to investigate. I'm making air quotes right now what it's going to take to put this train in. And then they're going to come up with a crazy number. They're going to say, we can do it for $25 billion. We can get 462 miles of train rail in.
And what if they could?
But they can't because they can't because they have never been able to do that. Do you invest money?
I do.
Do you have a money manager who you trust?
I do.
If he was constantly mismanaging your money and he was sending it down the tube and wasting your money, would you continue investing money with that person?
No, I'd move to England with Ellen DeGeneres.
Well, then God bless you. We're saying the exact same thing. But these people are bad stewards of our money. I cannot keep giving my money to these people who are trying to build a boondoggle of a track that's never going to get finished. California can't build it. Nobody can build it.
Europe can build it. Let's look at what they did.
Do we want to be more like Europe? Hell no. This is America, Spike. If you want to ride a high rail,
we do it better.
You want to ride a high-speed rail? Go take a vacation to Europe. It's lovely.
We do it better.
You'll enjoy it. The toilets even, well, not in Europe, but if you go to the other side of the world,
weird.
They spin the other way.
It's weird. Bidets?
They also, here's the other thing about Europe. Have they never seen a shower curtain? Have you been in their bathrooms?
I have.
What's the deal?
I don't know.
They got the wand. They got a tub. They know what a tub is.
Right.
They don't have a shower curtain?
Nope.
This just makes sense to me. Are you laying? Does every single person who cleans their bodies, they all lay down in a empty tub?
They learn to aim it at the wall, man. It's called progress.
God, these Europeans.